We start with our Newsmaker segment and take a look at a new book that deals with an old and familiar topic to Ruckus viewers, taxes in Kansas. The title is What Was Really the Matter with the Kansas Tax Plan? The Undoing of a Good Idea. And here to talk about that and more, the book's author, Dave Trabert, who is also president of the Kansas Policy Institute. Dave, welcome back to Ruckus. Good to see you again.
Good to be here, Mike.
I should note that you were helped in writing the book by Denidre Herbert, who is a frequent panelist on Ruckus and coincidentally is going to be on the panel this evening.
Yes, one of the Ruckettes was a major contributor to the book.
All right, the Kansas tax plan you're talking about is the one that was backed by Governor Brownback, cut income taxes for all levels of income, and eliminated income taxes entirely for LLCs and other pass-through organizations. Mm-hmm. All right, let me start with a quote from the book, from your introduction, and I think that will set the stage for explaining what you include in the book and why you wrote it. Okay. And I'll put this on the screen so you can read it along with me. For all that's been written about tax reform passed by the 2012 Kansas legislature, much of its history has either not been recorded or has been skewed to fit political agendas favoring higher taxes and more government spending. Distortions of the real story continue in order to discourage other states from reducing taxes and were even used to undermine federal tax reform efforts in late 2017. Does that pretty well summarize your reasons for putting this book together?
It does, Mike. You know, for years, people had been saying that Kansas somehow proved that taxes couldn't be cut. But at the same time, states like North Carolina, Indiana, and Tennessee successfully cut taxes. So the real issue is what was different about the Kansas tax experience. And some of the things that were said about Kansas weren't true. But Kansas did have some very serious budget challenges, and most of that was avoidable. There were a lot of mistakes made, and there were some other circumstances at play, including a pretty toxic political environment.
And I believe you say in the book that you could have cut some programs, reduced spending to deal with the fact that you might have less income, but that was resisted by many legislators who understood the need to do it, but were reluctant to do so because they thought they wouldn't get reelected.
Yeah, in fact, one legislative leader, when asked why they wouldn't make government more efficient, he said, well, we'd all lose our jobs if we did that. You know, the narrative had been that Kansas had dramatically reduced spending over the years, but that's one of the things that wasn't true. In fact, in 2012, the year that the cuts were approved, legislators approved a $400 million spending increase. And then they continued to set several new spending records over the next few years. Now, some agency budgets were shaved a little bit, but total spending kept going up, and getting spending under control was the key. Our research looked at the spending patterns of all 50 states and found a remarkable relationship. The states that tax income spend 50% more per resident than the states without an income tax. 50%. I mean, every state provides the same basic basket of services, but those that provide services at better prices can pass the savings on in the form of lower taxes.
Well, and you talk about the way the story was covered by the news media in Kansas City, across the state, and in fact across the nation, and you say a lot of tendentious and inaccurate reporting.
There was a lot of inaccurate reporting. Some of it was perhaps circumstantial. Some of it was I think, on purpose. You know, one of the big myths that we discussed in the book was the whole issue of tax avoidance. When, as you mentioned, there were two elements to the plan. One was reducing marginal rates on everyone, and then the exemption on pass-through income. That's companies like partnerships and proprietorships whose income is passed through the individual owners. When the state first estimated how many would be eligible for that exemption, there were 190,000. But then it turned out there were 330,000 actually claimed it. And so there was naturally a lot of rampant speculation that there was tax avoidance. And that's all it was rampant speculation. The IRS data all along showed that there were 330,000 of these. It was just a mistake that was made in the original estimate.
Unfortunately, we've come to the end of our time. There's a lot more to talk about and to read. Where would a person get a copy of this book?
It's available on Amazon. Just go to Amazon and look up What Was Really the Matter with the Kansas Tax Plan.
Great, good to see you again. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Mike.
That's Dave Trappert, author of What Was Really the Matter with the Kansas Tax Plan. Now let's meet the panel and start a ruckus.